Welcome back to Birmingham. It is ESL One Birmingham, the first ever UK major for Dota 2. $1 million up for grabs and plenty of those valuable DPC points. But all of that is in the future right now as we're on day number 1 of the group stages. We've already lost 2 teams and we're about to lose a third. Over on Stream B right now, LFY are going head-to-head with Newbie. That one's just about to kick off. If you're quick, you can catch that one in game number 3. It's 1-1 right now between those 2 teams. It's also 1-1 right now here on the mainstream between the 2 teams who are fighting it out to top Group C. OG, or OpTic Gaming, to give them their full name, going head-to-head with Mineski. 2 very tight games so far. Is game 3 going to produce the same? We'll find out from 2 experts who are alongside me, Capitalist and Nahaz. Alan, it has been 2 very tight games.
Yeah, and it's OpTic has to be feeling pretty well because, first of all, Pycat has thoroughly outplayed Mushi.
Fantastic in that last game.
He is 36, 6, and 25, 36 kills, 6 deaths, 25 assists in his 3 games today, and they're only 2-1. That's with a loss thrown in there. And one thing we didn't mention in that post game was the Zai Rubik. The Zai Rubik, 27 assists in on 30 of 38 team kills, 24k damage. That's ahead of the Lycan and the Quap. He stole 4 out of the 5 ultimates on the side of Mineski.
Yeah, and he was in on 16 of the 22 in the first game, which they lost. So he's up there and maybe, you know, vying for best support of the tournament so far.
It's just funny, right?
A good one.
Because we talk about this being 1-1 and we all expected this to be hotly contested, but it feels like Mineski are the ones in the back foot going into game 3.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we said from the get-go at game 1, looks like OpTic's playing better, but the draft advantage was still there. Here in this game 2, looks like OpTic is still outplaying Mineski, so feels uncomfortable for Mineski in game 3. Feels like they actually have to be able to get a big outdraft in order to close out this series against OpTic. Yeah,
and even when they had that outdraft in game 1, it was still close.
And what's scary to me is that OpTic has been doing this without the vintage performance from the guy that's been their secret weapon in 33. He hasn't necessarily had that same huge impact in this series that we felt it from him at Star Ladder, that we felt in some of these qualifier wins.
Yeah, it just seems like Pycat and the 2 supports is actually what's carrying them through this series so far. But we'll see what happens in this game 3. I was thinking about the draft a little bit. I don't know, I still felt good about Mineski's opener of the Clockwork and Death Prophet. I think maybe it just came down to that last pick, Queen of Pain, which feels a bit untested right now in the side lane, and just how effective it actually can be. What sort of lanes can you run it up against? Obviously, it was not able to fare that much success against the Darkseer Bane.
I mean, let me try out a theory on you. To me, this looked like the Mineski before 71 joined as coach, that where they, in a lot of games, they never looked totally sure who they were going to play around. They never looked totally willing to sack Mushi and play around their other 2 cores. And in this game, I saw some of that same indecision creeping in.
Yeah, I think part of it is the fact that I'm not sure how comfortable Mushi would be with getting a Queen of Pain sack, just because it is such a hard hero to sack. But at the same time, they're like, this is such a hard lane for us to win for you. I think maybe that's where the indecision comes in. Because I felt like they still had, I felt like their prime priority for game 1 was acceptable, right?
Sure.
I felt like they were,
100%.
like everything I mean, their lanes were really strong. That always helps. But I think it just comes down to that conundrum of this Quap is having a bad lane, and we did not expect that to go this poorly. So we are going to start off with very similar. Bane swapped out for the Rubik. Okay. I would almost say just because of Peter's performance on the Bane in both game 1 and game 2.
Oh, I think it's a phase 2 ban.
But
I think that's a phase 2 ban by Mineski.
For sure.
Yeah, they've already gotten rid of the Darkseer, which is interesting. That's a change up on the bans.
Yeah, I would bet that's the first phase Darkseer ban that we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was worthy of that?
No.
Think it could have been a second phase? Could have held that bomb back?
I don't think the Darkseer is what hurt you in that last game.
Right.
I wonder if they are tempted right now as Mineski, instead of going for the Death Prophet, going for the Luna. That was actually banned out in the second game, and the Luna versus Gyro matchup. Like it feels okay to reveal this Luna pickup when you already know the Gyro's there in the field.
Ooh.
Oh, they're going to take instead of banning it, they're going to pick it themselves.
Okay, that was the plan, and that one's paid off. So the Bane is blocked with a block pick. What about that Kunkka? We've talked about the Kunkka a number of times as the gyro counter. How do you feel about it?
I think it was great as a dedicated gyro counter when you were usually going to see that Kunkka against the gyro in lane. To me, I don't know that it's as much of a gyro counter when that lane so often gets dodged now.
Yeah, I hated it when I saw people picking the gyro as 1-2, and then they responded with the Kunkka. I really don't like that. I like to get a lot more information for my Kunkka pick.
Same thing.
So maybe a 4th pick, Kunkka is probably the most acceptable position.
Yeah,
for
if
me
it gets through this second phase.
Yeah.
Because it might be something that OpTic don't necessarily want to deal with.
Yeah, it's just like, it's such a problematic hero in that you do have this gap where you don't have much of an impact, where your combo isn't nearly as good because BKBs have been picked up, but you still don't have physical damage. And that is so slowed down if you have a bad laning phase. And that's a bit of the problem with picking up the Kunkka straight up against the gyros. You don't know what your matchup is in mid.
I think as OpTic here, once you see that DK ban, especially coming out from Mineski, you got to be asking yourself, do you want to play against that Death Prophet? Because the ban of the ban of the Dragon Knight to me suggests that Mineski, and the ban of the Brood suggests that Mineski are going to come out in phase 2 with Death Prophet.
Yeah, 33 being targeted a little bit with that Brood again, banned second phase, same as it was in the second game, and OpTic have removed the Luna, so that was one of the choices we thought Mineski might like going up against the gyro.
I think since they don't have the Darkseer, I like some of the concepts that Darkseer gives you, in that he does give you this this nice laning phase presence, and he just really pushes out the waves and prevents these Death Prophet lineups from really being able to get the ground running and being able to take these objectives. I think Beastmaster is kind of a hero that can replace it in that regard.
Doom. I still, again, my big 3 broken heroes, conceptually broken heroes right now, are Io, Doom, and Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I would agree.
I cannot see a circumstance where you'd want to first phase ban Darkseer over the Doom.
Yeah.
Although I agree with the wave clear point. I like that.
Yeah, I think the Doom is just such a crazy hero in that the way he pressures heroes. I think the Beastmaster is obviously a little bit different on how he pressures the lanes.
Yeah, I feel like teams have gotten just so much better at playing against those Beastmaster aggro duels that if you don't have to fear that hero spamming axes at you in the laning phase, to me he loses a lot of value.
Yeah.
Okay, OpTic are going to come back with the Lycan themselves. That's interesting.
They're stealing each other's heroes.
Neither one of these supports likes playing against the Lycan too much.
Although Clock's playable against Lycan, surely.
It's playable in the fact that you can lock down the Lycan and probably kill yourself in the process. But
right, fair enough. Fair enough.
I think that it's like the problem is you don't get reliable battery assault damage because of all his stuff that's around, and then we said the same thing. Like, look, Bane, Rubik's not going to be particularly effective against Lycan, and we did see that in the game that Lycan was able to run down these supports oftentimes, but OpTic still pulled out the win.
An Omni pick into a Rubik.
Yeah, that's You be the analyst, Paul.
Sorry, sorry. What were you going to say, Alan?
Exactly that. I'm looking at this and going, okay, so you've got an Omni Knight picking it into a Rubik Gyro Lycan.
Yeah.
So what are the really good Omni combos? Because I think it may be more about that.
Oh.
What do you like Omni with these days?
Well,
I mean,
because OD doesn't feel like a very good hero anymore.
Oh. I guess you could set this up for a Medusa. I mean, DP Medusa is your last 2 picks as Mineski?
Yeah, the Death Prophet's still.
But surely that OpTic smell that coming a mile away. Like that's not subtle.
Yeah. OD also doesn't like Lycan because for the same reason. Single target and there's a bunch of stuff around.
And I mean, Lycan builds BKB and then just eats OD alive. Like.
And Luna's banned too, so.
Interesting approach from Mineski. We did say that based on the first 2 games, they're a little bit lucky to be 1-1 right now, and they needed an outdraft, so maybe that's something they're looking for. OpTic with the Undying. We've only seen one of those today. I think it was the first match of the day. if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the second one.
I like that hero so much better though with a paired with a core like Lycan that's just gonna be constantly running at you, because once Undying is coming in flesh golemed up behind one or two heroes, he becomes that much more threatening. Like if Undying has to be on the front lines by himself, it's just he's very low armor, very easy to kill.
All right, so I've been low-key preaching about Undying.
Yeah.
You on board with this hero?
I think this hero
You on
is
board
like
with this hero?
secretly value, right? It's
Why?
Just, it's part of it has to do with the strength change and how the combination of like against these strength heroes, you're taking away magic resistance, you're getting more HP for yourself, you're taking away more HP. I think the hero is an excellent dual laner, and he's another lane dominator. It's just the question of whether or not you can fit him into a lineup and basically be entirely reliant on having a good laning phase and having no disables going into the mid game.
Tinker.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Omni Tinker.
That is not the classic Omni Knight combo that I had in mind. It is a
Well, it's
hero
different.
that-
I mean, you guys said they had to be different in game number 3, and this is different. This is different. They've
good
not.
different,
They've not.
though.
Yeah. They've not played a huge amount. Just the one game since 7-1-1.
And it's definitely not a vintage Moon hero. So does
No, they did win that game, by the way. That one game that they've played. On the other side of things, the Lycan hasn't been played by OpTic since 7-11, and nor is the Undying. So this is new territory for them too.
When you look at its stats like that, it's important to ask yourself how difficult is that hero to play around?
Sure.
Like how much burden does it put on the other 4 players? And Lycan and Undying are just they're despite Undying falling off, they're very easy heroes to play around. Tinker, if your team's not used to playing around it, is not.
So,
Oof.
This Omni's throwing me because I can't really think of a hero that works with Omni is also good versus Lycan and Gyrocopter, because they're two like very different. Like take Juggernaut for example, like good versus Gyro, bad versus Lycan.
I don't know.
In that regard, Morphling feels like he's just gonna get run over.
Is this like a troll?
It's faster. Troll got banned.
Oh well, oops.
And,
okay.
I
mean.
You do Sven versus
Ice Stealer feels crap. Yeah, Phantom Assassin is the other one.
Old school troll.
Yeah, the other one that's sort of okay. Omni takes away her vulnerability to magical burst.
Yeah.
So you're just able to jump onto the
I tell you what.
a lot.
Yeesh.
Huskar.
Huskar has problems with Lycan, I think, but
yeah,
he is good versus Gyro.
And he's good with Omni.
PA is good versus Gyro.
I think of those options, I like the PA best.
Yeah.
The other thing is
the more natural one, isn't it?
Monkey King.
That's Mushi MK though, and that's not the greatest.
Yeah, and we've already ruled out the OD obviously as well. Is there anything else?
All right, the Life Stealer.
Life Stealer. It's not really, is it? Okay.
I don't.
This is,
what does Omni combo with here for Mineski? It has to be about
the only good
lane.
thing we can pull out of this is it's an ice Omni.
Sure.
So that's good, right?
The expression on your face.
Am I clutching at straws here,
The
or
expression on your face right now is priceless, Paul. It's really good.
Let's find out what we get for a final pick.
You've got Doom available. You've got Core Naga Siren. I'll just kind of put that out there on the side. You've got Puck still available to you.
Baden.
There are honestly like so many offlaners that actually work pretty well in this game for you.
But we'll go with Quap then.
Did they literally, did OpTic, is Peter literally like, you know what, we liked your draft in that last game, you just suck, so we're going to show you how to, that sounds Peter. It really does.
It does sound a little Peter. All right, draft done. Very interesting draft, but a very eclectic draft as well. Is that, are you swayed one way or the other here, Alan?
I'm swayed by the fact that I think OpTic has, you can make an argument that OpTic has outplayed Mineski in both games so far,
sure.
And I just think they're going to win.
Okay, Cap?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it, the last pick Quap, but I think that no matter what, like, they had a draft advantage from the first 4 picks, so Also, I love Undying. Go Undying.
All right, well, he's on the Undying hype train, I guess. Meanwhile, we're going to stick with either Mineski or OpTic Gaming as we bring in our commentary team for Game 3. Gents, that was a bit of a roller coaster through the draft.
There's a little bit of fun, a little bit of, I would say mixing it up, but not really, just more like swapping it up.
Yeah. I'm an Undying fan, so I'm on Team Undying for sure. This is
wow.
As soon as Cap started talking, I was like, "Don't take this light away from me. This was me on this train."
Does Undying now have like the red, white, and blue tombstone or something? Like, is that what we're looking for?
I don't know. He's just fun. You just go to your lane and you just decay them a lot, and then they have no HP, and then they can't last hit for like 2 minutes, and then they run out of regen, and it's a good time. That's basically it. That's it. And then he's also good at roaching with his ultimate. That's another really good benefit that a lot of teams have been abusing. Tombstone is good for team fighting. And then they just go like Solar Crest. So Solar Crest amplifies the roach damage. You turn on your ultimate, it takes 25% more. That's beautiful. And CCNC just can't die this game because the only disables on the enemy team are Fiend's Grip and Cog Stun Push. So CC has a free game.
Okay.
And the other heroes work out okay.
Here's the question.
Okay.
Can OpTic Gaming actually handle the global potential that comes out from Mineski? The fact they have a Tinker on the field, this is something which they've run many, many times. Moon will be playing it in this game. The ability to actually transport with a long-range jumping clockwork, having a transportation for the lifestealer in multiple ways. It seems to me like Mineski have a lot of ways to change the balance of the lane as long as the Tinker gets a good start. And as long as the Lifestealer is able to work with the level 6 clockwork.
That's a really good point that I overlooked. Yeah, they definitely have really good Lifestealer bombs. I was just busy thinking about Undying. That was the problem, really.
Blinded
by the Undying, yes. I see your point about the Lifestealer bombs. Yes, that's going to be very good. With that said, it's a support clockwork, so he's got to wait till 6. And the Tinker is going to have to wait till Blink Dagger. So hypothetically, if they pressure the Tinker well enough, it's not going to be a big deal. If Queen of Pain gets an Orchid and moves around looking for these Tinker kills, it's going to mean that Tinker dies a little bit too much. I guess I just see that OpTic has this like good laning advantage, and it should scale into a decent position. So
maybe this is also the reason too why we're seeing Lifestealer and Bane moving to the off lane, create a little bit more aggression. So it's a lot harder to pressure the Tinker. Ice will take the top rune. It looks like Mineski will actually grab 3 out of these 4 bounty runes to start with.
I'm surprised. I thought OpTic was going to get those, but because they fought on the other side of the map.
Yeah,
so
they didn't get it from Ice. He stood right on top of the rune, so there was no way to click around him.
He's a big boy.
He is, well, he's got broad shoulders, or wings, the Omni Knight. Impressive span.
Yeah, so this is basically what Undying does. He goes and he walks up to these strength heroes and he steals 4 of their damage, and he gets 4 damage and he just hits them.
This is when Jab's like, it's fine though, right? Like, I got 3 mangoes. The regeneration's really great. Take away my strength, I'll give myself back life even more efficiently.
I mean, he's got a trade hits with the battery assault, but this is something Undying does just fine. Lycan is going to have some trouble against Omni though, because every time that he heals, he's going to be reflecting damage while healing himself.
PBD's trying to do some work up against Ice now with Jabs chasing him around. Bottom lane is still Mushi taking that off-lane road against the Gyro as well as Rubik combination. Something, again, as the panel is pointing out, is something we have seen before already today. And that leaves Tinker then against CCNC, who's, considering laser harassment would make problems for a Queen of Pain, has already found a decent amount of denies in this mid lane.
Yeah, it's basically a reverse of last game. The dual offlane Bane to enfeeble the enemy carry. This could be really big and a nice advantage for Mineski here. Because if they can just limit the farm that Gyro gets, then I thought Gyro would have a decent lane. And then on the opposite side, it's a Lycan who has to contest last hits versus an Omni Knight, as well as the Undying being there. So this is like pretty good matchups for Mineski as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. As long as they can keep it going that way. Like, for me, like, I'm more interested to see, like, when someone's able to get an advantage in the side lane and then start to pressure in the mid. Obviously, CCNC as the Queen of Pains get a lot more kill potential against a hero like a Tinker.
Yeah.
But it's going to take some time before you reach that point. Most Queen of Pains we've seen is, like, what, a 2-1-2 before you're able to really do anything. And then there's that range harassment.
Oh, here comes the gank. Of the courier.
It's running a long way back. They saw that as well because it walked down the river from the top lane.
Okay, so no courier ganks for now, unfortunately.
No. But PPD as well as 33 will grab the creep wave and drag it around. I don't think Ice really cares too much about that. Like, he can stand there quite easily with thanks to purification. And he's got a spare mango, obviously, he's not even using. Mango inefficiency.
Gotta save him, man. Save him for when it's important.
Actually going up to 33. As a level 1 purification only with a degen aura.
He's got Orb of Venom too. This is pretty bad for
Cog's
3.
coming off cooldown right now. He can Mango and have him back up again. Locks both of them underneath the tier 1 tower. But it does give first blood to Jabs. They'll cut their way free. And then head up, PPD, moving into the side shop. He'll be fine.
I mean, after what happened last game and now looking at this, it just feels like Lycan is a bit of a laning vulnerability. I guess I'm slightly surprised that people are picking him so early in the draft. I mean, if he has a good lane or a favorable matchup, then it seems really fine. But last game, Ice had trouble making impact on Lycan, and right now it seems like 3-3 is going to have a really tough time getting lane stability here.
I find it amusing too, because this is how we started our day, having a conversation about Lycan, like, why is this guy really good? And you kind of put it down, it's like, it's just like health regeneration, and he can always come back, he can always get a lot of space made by the rest of his team.
It's going to take Peter trading himself for it, basically. And Peter's actually maxing out Decay. I've tried this a few times. It feels pretty good. You feel like you do something outside of just Tombstone. Tombstone recently was buffed to shift up for spawn rate by 1 level. So your hero is still pretty viable without too many tombs or with no tomb. There's quite a few strength heroes on the enemy team.
They're starting the pull again, 33. Has the creep wave with them. Thanks to the fact he pulled the creep wave down, the side camp got pulled up by Jabs. And kept out. Mushi real issues on bottom lane. The homing missiles coming his way. No rage available. Back out of the town. Fairy Fire. As much life as he can get. Pycat enfeebled up. Takes a lot to get him down. And thanks to the brain sap from Ninja Boogie, Pycat will die underneath the tier 1 tower. But this is going to be a large amount of experience going to Ninja Boogie and not going to the lifestealer Mushi.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was worth it. It looked like it was a great dive opportunity. And they got the kill, but dying for it as well is not usually worth it on a carry.
Why does Jabs always get these rotations onto CC and C? This time around, though, he just TP's out, as PPD was also in the neighborhood.
I think they actually could have killed him there. If it would have cost CC and C a Mango, he would have used level 2 Scream of Pain, but...
Moon would have had to level up Rockets as well. Right now, he's still holding those 2 points. Blink in, CC and C can Scream.
Okay.
And will kill off Moon, so
Saving
aggressive Water's well behind the tower.
Wanted to use the Mango on the Tinker instead. Good choice. So it looks like they're lane rotating. So 3-3 goes to the safe lane now. They're going to shift Pycat to the off lane. This is basically the matchup they kind of wanted at the start. That way they would have had a Rubik over against the Clockwork, and then Gyrocopter wouldn't really be harassed by the Purify damage, which would have been kind of nice.
Maybe that's a point too when Ice thinks about switching around, because Zai and Pycat already harassing him down. Doesn't have a lot of life to work with, but 5 minutes has arrived. So he's already pinging saying, hey, can we use this shrine?
See where Undyne goes next skill build. Picks up Tombstone. They're going to dive on Moon, and this is a pretty good... This looks pretty dangerous.
Ninja Boogie's nearby, and maybe with the damage. Moon's dropping down low. They don't have a lot to give to him. That Shadow Strike. Okay, they have Ice to give to him. He will easily survive.
Oh, so scary for CC. I don't think he was expecting like level 3 laser, level 2 missile there. That was a huge amount of damage when he blinked in. But good gank attempt. Doing these little rotations with Undyne can be very beneficial, but not getting the kill is going to be a bit painful. That's a skill point that he can't use for a while. Zai now in trouble.
Yeah, they're chasing him down with the Clockwork. Can't stay close enough thanks to telekinesis, but maybe he's not the target. Won't matter when PPD TPs to the top lane. This is now a little bit too much for these two dire heroes of Mineski to handle. But it leaves a one-on-one fight between Mushi and 33, and Mushi like instantly moves forward and starts attacking into this Lycan.
Lycan seems fine though. 20 last hits, 5 denies. Mushi's 29 and 10, so he's ahead. But a lot of that might have been the laning stage at the very start. So I mean, I think OpTic's going to feel pretty comfortable now. Gyrocopter's got Phase Boots finished. He's only level 4, so his levels are not good. But with the fast Phase Boots, he can basically lane just about anywhere now. The only thing he has to worry about is getting out-harassed. And against an Omni, that's not going to happen. Even against a Clockwork, it's not the most dangerous thing because he has movement speed. So I think for a while, Gyro is going to be really comfortable.
I'm having a fun time watching CC try and last hit with 15 damage. He has a level 3 Scream available and even popped a regeneration rune during it, but I don't think he wanted to push the lane that much.
Yeah.
So he held on to it.
The eternal struggle is a bad player. You're like, I can use my spells to get last hits, but if I do it pushes the lane, then I'm out of mana, then I don't get kills. Yeah. It's just a big cascade.
Then we League of Legends people. Jabs on the run after Pycat and Zai, and it's enough to dissuade them from continuing the pressure onto Ice.
Poor damage, 15 hold. Oh, we got a last hit with it. Nice. Damn it, we didn't catch it, Pim. Come on. Ganked that creep.
Critical miss. critical miss. Cogs are down. Zai actually in a lot of hurt. Jabs is that level 2 battery assault that's doing the work. Zai, he will fall. Ninja Boogie comes in to help out. Hit it again.
No.
Pycat, where's the damage? It doesn't exist.
He was so close. One more. That's all it's going to take. Then Bane shows up, instantly turns things around. Peter, sad he was not here. Could have been there for the kill. Ice wants to get the heal off for the last hits. He does. Peter is just back to last hitting. Peter's laning stage has seemed all right. Not amazing, but okay. Just, I don't know.
It's not that influence you really heavily expect from an Undying, but they have a chance now on top lane. Repel is up, but it won't matter. The Donk is still going to connect. And Pycat will take the kill onto Ice.
I mean, I don't think he's doing bad. It's just going all right. I guess I was expecting it to do slightly better, but support Undying is significantly different than something like offlane Undying. Or
you built it up with too much hype. Like you waved a huge Undying flag and said, "This is going to be great." And then I was like, "Okay."
There's 4 total hands on that flag, me and Cap.
That is true.
But still a good hero potentially. He's going to be getting multiple points of slow rep now.
Jumping in towards mid. Moon underneath the tower. He's dropping low on the Sonic Wave. CCNC really wanted to get that kill before Omni could do anything about it. And, well, Ice really committed to ensure that CCNC died. He could have turned around to purify his Tinker, but decided against it.
Future cleanup. Phase Boots and the Orb of Venom, they are able to chase him down. Definitely the biggest weakness of a Quap. Once you blink aggressively, you are committed for a long time. And being able to chase him down all the way when he's only got that much health from diving the tower secures a big kill, and now he instantly shifts the off lane to push there and to gain last hits. Just doing a great job in this game. 2-1 and 1 now on Ice's Omni.
I love watching Zai use the dire creep wave to farm up inside the jungle and then bring Pycat over. Jab starts taking damage. He's like, wait, I shouldn't be getting hit here.
Mushi finally reclaiming his own safe lane at least.
Ice is claiming bottom lane. PPD is on the run. That's 2 points up in Decay. Yes. Difficult to run away. Here comes 33, but the purification from Ice will find that kill. They'll start to get his strength back pretty shortly. Call down from Pycat, create space against Mushi and Jabs. Jabs still not level 6 yet, so they don't have that delivery system we're talking about.
Lycan does finish his Helm of the Dominator at least, so he'll have an extra creep down here in the lane, but he's got to be a little careful with Omni having this movement speed.
Ninja Boogie's coming in from the side.
All right, no success there. And Peter shows up as well. Like, Peter's Undying at this stage is not nearly as effective because you're very reliant on, like...
Oh, they got Zai. They're using the 10-minute bounty runes as bait.
Nicely done.
So Zai may be able to claim that bounty rune, but he'll lose his life for it, and they still had 3 bounty runes for the 10-minute mark go to Mineski.
So basically the biggest problem right now for OpTic is that their ganks are actually not very effective. Undying does not facilitate solo kills easily. He's great in team fights, he's great in like lane harass, but until they get something like an Orchid, they can't just like show up and kill somebody easily, is the problem. They've got damage, they've got team fight, but outside of like Rubik Lift and maybe a spell that he steals, they don't have the easiest way to score a kill. But because he has 6 now, if they steal something like Purify, it doesn't matter how much disable that you have. You've got so much damage that they should be able to snag these kills.
They're trying to work around the back of CCNC, who has that Sonic Wave off cooldown in 1 second time, and they have the vision up the hill onto Jabs. The Cogs won't protect him from that, and they actually drag it back into another set of Cogs. This one belonging to Zai. Hookshot tries to create space. Here comes the rockets in. They have the control from Ninja Boogie. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off support for Core, getting rid of the Tombstone. Nightmare wears off on PPD. Decay is off cooldown as well, so they can turn around to a little bit of extra chip. No, cannot reach them in time.
It looked like he was going to be able to save CCNC, but the laser comes in at the perfect time, secures the kill, and in the meantime, Mushi's just splitting off the top lane. Top net worth, or at least top last hitter. With the armlet, he can eat up some of these cores on the OpTic gaming side, so they've got to be a bit careful once these lifestealer bombs start happening. Clock has got 6. Moon is still nowhere close to his Blink Dagger, trying to finish his BOTs now.
Queen of Pain has to come to bottom lane to try and stop Ice. She's the only one really strong enough. It's a level 9 versus a level 9, but then again, Omni Knight can just repel, take off Shadow Strike, any scream damage, fixed by Purification.
It's a really nice thing about having these independent cores. Just sits in his lane, gets his last hit. Same with Lifestealer. Just makes, like, I was talking about how OpTic has, like, kind of weak ganking heroes. They're also really against really hard to gank heroes. Against Omni, against Lifestealer, how do you even kill these guys?
Oh, we're going into Shapeshift. 33 is looking for a kill onto Ice. Queen of Pain still has the Sonic Wave, and there's GA. Repel's coming off cooldown right now, so at least you can block off a little bit of that magical damage. Jabuki's nearby. He'll need to give a Nightmare protection, but he is not in range. Decided against it.
A little surprised he didn't go for the heal, but maybe he did see the Repel earlier or something like that. But they do get the kill.
Yeah. And they'll follow up with a lot of damage into tower. Alpha Wolf there to work with the Lycan. 4 points up in the Feral Impulse.
He can grip CC.
Oh, hang on, jump forward. Hook shot forward. Perfect grip from Ninja Boogie. Nowhere for that Queen of Pain to go. As they laser out, 33 is kind of in no man's land. With no shapeshift, he can't just jump away. The Rubik will get a 3-man stun, but it won't really help him.
It's a painful moment for OpTic here. So this is where you look at your Undying and you're like, hey man, you're Undying, why weren't you there?
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is that they got the kill, and then right there's a tier 1 tower. They get there, and it looks like everything's fine, but great gank angle that they took to move in on that.
Now Ice he just chases down PPD, goes into ultimate form. He's got Tombstone available, he'll drop it down. Ice just repel. He forced a hell of a lot out from PPD. That was meant to be his support Tinker BTing in at the moment, but he cannot arrive in time to help out.
Okay.
But the BTs are up for Moon with Soul Ring and Bottle, so a lot more global presence to arrive from Moon.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is looking really good for Mineski right now. 2K advantage with the BOTs up on Tinker and the lack of disable from OpTic and the Orchid just now being started, essentially. It's going to be a long time until this guy starts getting punished unless we see some really good moves come out of OpTic. So I think Mineski's got to feel happy and feel like their next 10 or so minutes is going to be pretty much whatever they want.
Yeah. Up to them to decide what they want to focus on. Mushi focuses on the bottom tower, claims the last tip for it as well. That's the second tier 1 tower to go down, both on the bottom lane on each side. There's a smoke gank from Jabs and Ninja Boogie. Target is probably going to be 33 on this top lane. And they actually dia scan and ping correctly, so they know exactly where he's farming. He didn't move up and towards the lane. Fiend's Grip's available, and into Wolf form won't matter. Ninja Boogie gets the Fiend's Grip off, and they have more than enough damage. They lock him inside the cogs. No easy way just to run out. And well played indeed.
Man, there's...
Yeah.
Ninja Boogie's only got 1 more taunt left in the game. He's already used 2 in a short period of time. Tactically used though, that's Shapeshift. Shapeshift burned, no harass potential out of that. And OpTic's already weak gank is going to be even weaker here.
They're looking for the hook shot from Jabs. OpTic did see it thanks to that defensive ward they have on their side of the river. But we now have the 15-minute mark hit once more. At least OpTic are going to get 2 of the bounty runes this time around. Actually, yeah, they'll get only 2. Ninja Boogie took the ones on the north.
I mean, they're looking for a kill. They've got the infest on the clockwork.
Yep.
They just got to get the hook shot on one guy, but they see the clock. They could, oh, they're rotating everybody. This is perfect.
Everyone's coming. But thanks to the Mineski ward that's right on top of that shrine, they also saw what was coming.
Yeah, that many TPs, it's very clear.
Yep. Meanwhile, Ice now takes the top tier 1 tower.
Good for him. That's a lot of gold. They'll have a Vanguard finish soon. It's a very fast hero now. Very tanky hero, and once they pick up Crimson Guard against like zombies, I think it blocks zombie damage. Speaking of which, they dropped the tomb for the ancients, apparently. But
drop the tombstone, pop the flesh golem.
But Crimson against like Lycan and Flat Cannon and all that stuff, it stops so much of the damage on OpTic.
Oh, they're coming in. Jabs. Hookshot's available, but the minions of 33 were blocking the line of fire, and Zai, well, he'll get a telekinesis grab up, picking him up. When is this life steal going to come out? I think he's going to come out right now because he's losing Jabs. Jabs could not be delivery. Zai, so low on life. The Ray tries to protect him, but it will not be enough. Moon's rockets just flying from in front of this tower, and there's no way for OpTic to get through that. It's a double wave of March to the Machines, and then Tinker just keeps on coming into the trees. And this allows Mineski to take these objectives with a lot of support.
And then Mushi's going to a really right-click heavy build. Armlet straight into Deso. They don't have very good tower hitters. It's basically like Omni Knight and Lifestealer. Lifestealer's okay. He turns on Rage, he slaps buildings, but this way with like attack speed and just simply right-click damage, he doesn't have to worry that much about dying this game. Because Gyro's not so much of like a single target carry, it's more of like an AoE hit everything with magic and physical sort of carry. So if he just builds pretty like glass cannon, he's still going to be fairly survivable as a Lifestealer.
And with these early towers dropping down in favor of Mineski, OpTic going to have a harder time dealing with things like Roshan as well. If you have higher damage on the lifesteal, you can be quick about this and then turn it into a push power, which is what the Tinker wants. The Tinker wants this space. These towers need to fall so he doesn't feel as threatened by OpTic's vision, which is probably where my mind is going to move to next. Like, we're hitting 18 minutes in, we were applauding OpTic's vision throughout this series. How do they maintain that? How do you keep eyes on a Tinker when you don't have an easy jump catch? Like, it's Blink to Orchid. But if you don't have that, like if like a Yule Scepter comes up on this Tinker, you don't have a control factor on him.
Yep, in some ways the question answers itself, because if they don't have the catch, what's the point of warding all over the enemy, the jungle?
True.
They're not going to have the ability to do so. And Mineski is also far ahead of them in terms of net worth at this point. They can afford all these extra sentries. They're slamming them down everywhere. There's only one OpTic ward up at the moment, and it's about to die. So
here comes Mineski. Ninja Boogie is visible to the Wolves, so 33 may feel he's going to fight, but then 2 out of the cover of smoke. PPD will drop the tombstone. Ninja Boogie just holds his ground. CCNC, it's a great Sonic Wave into a Scream, locking in Mineski, the worst choke point they could have asked for, but the Omni Knight, he's the best healer they could have asked for. Mushi needs to armlet toggle so hard. CCNC blinks out for the cooldown, and the damage from Pycat, it'll be enough. They have the control factor. In order to keep them controlled, it was the Purge Creep, I think, that was in there too, so no way to run away for Ice. No protection for him either. And Mineski lose 4.
it was a really good team fight. The Undying didn't do that much damage, but he was definitely impactful there. Buys time to keep 3-3 alive a bit longer. The Tombstone just sat there constantly dealing damage and slowing opponents, so worked out okay. Like 3-3's having a rough game. He's not contributing a huge amount, but at least he still had creeps hitting. Just his main hero wasn't able to capitalize too much on the fight. And that's a huge one for OpTic. 4 dead heroes. The next Oblivion staff is finished. That means he's a mere 75 gold away from finishing Orkan. And now they finally have gank options. And on Mineski's side, things still scale well. The one hero that didn't die was Tinker. He's got a Kaya finished, 500 more gold. So by the time he finishes something like Hex, things get really scary again for OpTic. But at least they can breathe the sigh of relief knowing that they won that fight convincingly.
Yeah. Now they just need to get that vision back up. Zaya's already out there with one sentry would try and unblock the Ancients. But Infest is available. Jabs and Mushi walking side by side. So maybe after the Ancients they go on a little bit of a hunt. While Mineski continue to build up for the next engagement. So Moon gets stronger and stronger. Like Kaya's up on him. He's looking for his next item. Already has the Blink Dagger. You've got a Crimson Guard that's sitting back at base. Curry needs to bring that one out for Ice. So a lot of sustain, which is going to start to arrive for Mineski, which OpTic Gaming will have to deal with. But no flash regeneration from them. That's one thing they don't have. So if the Sonic Wave hits, you don't have Pipe to block, you don't have the Greaves to give everyone life back or the mech. Hookshot, hello! Found their target. This Pycat actually locked him in the cogs, but yeah, Mushi jumped out too early. He didn't go in with jabs.
I've seen something like this recently. I think it was maybe EG that did it. It's like their reaction was so good that they jumped out before the clock actually got there. They're like, oh, this is it. This is our opportunity. And it looked pretty good, but Pycat gets the BKB off, gets left behind, and that's a dead Clockwork.
This is really problematic. Clockwork will buy it back. He can rocket into the pits. They can at least get some information. Ice is nearby. The Greaves is up. What's going to be stolen by the Rubik is Purification, extra life. Roshan, so low. They don't have that cover fire of the March machines, but Ice looks like he still wants to go in. So does Mushi. In through the back lines, but they have to get rid of the Tombstone that's inside the pit. Maybe they don't. Fiend's Grip from Ninja Boogie. They're controlling the Gyrocopter, but he's the one with the Aegis Immortal. So huge damage from Pycat. They never finished the job. CCNC hits the Sonic Wave. Tinker will buy back. He knows he needs to be here. There's some OpTic forcing any more towards that tier 1 tower. But that is the greatest fight OpTic could have asked for.
I mean, the last couple fights have felt like that exactly. The fight looked pretty bad for OpTic, in my opinion. It just seemed like there was no damage being dealt, and all of a sudden, I see the Tinker got picked off on the backline by the Lycan, and then he came and cleaned up everybody else, and they still didn't kill the Gyro. Gyro looks super dead, but Fiend's Grip ends. He's able to right-click a little bit, stay alive, and they just run out of damage. And that's one of the big downsides of this build on Mushi and why it kind of fell out of favor. It's really good at single target, but if you're not on the right target right at the start of the fight, if you don't kill him in that kind of rage duration, then things don't go so well. And he went for Quap blinks away, and then he just probably feels dumb. Yeah. If we would have killed Gyro, at least Gyro dies, doesn't get flat cannon off in time, maybe we can get a couple more kills before the respawn. And it didn't happen.
This combination with jabs just needs to be so much stronger. Obviously, as you said, like it didn't go their way with the reflexes being too fast from Mushi, but now they get information on top. Hook shot forward, they pop off side so quickly. They don't actually, no, they do. The Cogs pushback. Pycat, TP cancelled. This is huge for him because Pycat's so far away from friends. Not only will they pop the Aegis, they can actually get the follow-up. The rest of OpTic is coming, but Master Machine is down. Pycat will BKB. He's coming underneath the tier 1 tower, but no one is near him to help out. Mineski killing off Gyro twice over, and they stop any kind of advantage that OpTic can use that Aegis for.
That's a tough one, whether or not you pop BKB there. He went for it. It couldn't even tell it made a difference. Mushi just deals so much damage here. Both damage perk picked up, and finally the Dire team getting some advantage here.
Yep, they needed that pickoff, but that's that combination. Like, Rubik was dead within the span of maybe 0.2 of a second.
Yep.
Like, that's that burst combination that I was thinking about. And now Mineski, they try and capitalize on it. You got all that damage from Mushi, so this tier 2 tower is like paper to Mineski. 23 minutes in, it just doesn't survive.
OpTic just feeling way too confident there in pushing the top lane with those 2 heroes. If the Rubik can't sit behind the Gyro and back him up a little bit, then yeah, they instantly lose both. He also could have BKB, TP'd as well. Didn't want to commit to that. Like, I'm sure Pycat's kicking himself a little bit for that last engagement there. It's kind of like gifting their opponents a way back into the game for sure.
So we got 2 Blink Daggers purchased up. The first one's on Rubik, which is very easy to understand.
Oh!
The second is actually
CC just finds Tinker bottom.
Oh, that's a huge pickup with the Sonic Wave. Goodbye, Moon.
It was
That's
actually
so much money.
It was more like Moon found CCC. CCNC's that side shop. Tinker blinks right on top of him, and CC's like, oh, I've got an arcade, cool.
All right, I'll take that kill.
And what were you saying before that? Sorry.
2 Blink Daggers picked up, but the other one's actually on 33. It's on the Lycan.
Okay. That's
So
new.
Yeah. Thought that would kind of tickle your fancy a little bit.
Why buy boots when you could just get a Blink Dagger?
Yeah, why have high movement speed as Wolf Form when you could buy a Blink Dagger? Ninja Boogie, oh, the hook shot, gonna miss his target. The Fiend's Grip's out on CCNC. He'll break free with that BKB. They try and create space with jabs as Cogs, but they just walk around at this Tombstone from PPD and the Decay. They're taking away the life. They just can't walk out of this. Mineski rooted to the ground. We're now playing stuck in the mud. Ninja Boogie's TP just in time. Successful. But OpTic Gaming take a fight into objective. That's a long time dead for both Clock and Lifestealer.
And what just seems so obvious every time that you see Lycan mid-game is that it's so good at running down your opponents. You summon everything, you sprint at them, and the only thing that slowed down them dying was Guardian Angel from the Omni Knight. And that kind of availability and power, especially when you're also dropping a Tombstone, how does Mineski feel comfortable taking a fight? The only way is if they initiate first. And they did that. They, like, gripped their opponents. It just didn't matter. There was no follow-up. And there's not going to be for a long time. Like, Lifestealer alone with just right-click damage items is going to fall off here.
Yeah.
If he goes Radiance, it's a little bit different, but he can be kited, he can choose the wrong targets, and
I'm
then
almost
just
waiting
loses
for
opportunities.
Lifestealer to take the book that the Lycan's now reading, which is the Blink Dagger onto your core. It's an older thing for a Lifestealer to pick up, but
I'm not sold on this Blink yet. Okay.
they took a fight directly after purchasing it. May or may not be relevant.
It is kind of a cool idea, though, because especially with summons, if you just blink and then cast all of your summons, then your summons also have a Blink Dagger. That's pretty
You're making
valuable.
it sound almost like an Anti-Mage when he jumps in, just mana styles and burns off the mana.
Yeah, I mean, that's
or
basically...
Beastmaster when he jumps in.
That's what it is, except without the disables. And he can also do cool things like juke.
That is his role, though, right? Because like the Lycan's being picked up. You're kind of touching on it at the start of this game. It's like, well, why is Lycan always being picked up in the early phase? He's being run as this 3, which is meant to be the jump and initiate.
Yeah, like
that
it's
jumping
like
controller.
it's more like a sprint at your opponent while screaming in wolf noises kind of a thing. And then and that's the other cool thing that the Blink does is he can actually find the Tinker. Blink is like the best item to guarantee a kill on Tinker if you can just get on top of him.
Difficult to do, however.
Definitely hard, but Blink is going to be good at
Lane,
it.
Fiend's Grip is out, and goodbye PPD.
Just PPD. And that's only his second death.
Yep.
He's playing worse this game, clearly. If he was playing better, he'd have 15 deaths again
Yeah,
last game.
He's not dying enough for his team.
Exactly.
But he's got 12 assists.
He's not
because the
dedicated
Undying
enough.
Tomb is doing everything. CC&C, time to blink deeper in the lane. All right, well, Moon will keep chasing him down and blocks him off. And they just hold him in the trees. A blink out once more. And CC&C, there's the Clockwork Rocket. They've got the information. Jabs! Whoa! Moon's got a fat butt. The jab just went straight to him. And he cannot deliver Mushi. The more critical thing of not killing off.
That one's got to be painful, man. He was reading CC so well, too. Nailed him with every single rocket. But, yeah.
That actually felt like a
blocked
chase you'd have on something like like a Tinker. with the blinking through the trees inside the fog.
Yeah. A little tough there. CC maybe could have gotten the Tinker kill as well if he fully committed, but I do not blame him for running for the trees.
Hate to point out, Moon's got a great ass. No, just in case anyone's feeling
Whoa.
offended on the call.
It wasn't a negative comment. Okay,
It was not. It's more about the hero.
Okay, good.
Great arm span. That's what he called it.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Lincoln's up next for Queen of Pain. Still no AC finish. Feels like it's been forever since Lifestealer finished his item. Snowworth is still up there, though. And now 3-3 also buys treads, so I guess accepting that Blink is not going to be enough by itself. Maybe bought this a little out of order, perhaps. Kind of hard to say, but...
I'm feeling a little sad for Mineski right now, but it's also of their own design. They put down a sentry ward on bottom lane, which is in range of the observer ward that's on the hill, but they never actually got vision on top of the hill. So when they went for the gank on bottom lane, they walked underneath the observer ward, and OpTic, of course, then fall back.
It's always painful, man. Free D wards.
Yeah.
But you don't know about it.
And there are other sentry wards a little bit too far south to see the other observer ward.
Like in committing his ultimate top here. Is he going to catch the Tinker?
He blinks. He's searching. He's waiting for something. The wolves are scanning. He's running the top line where the Tinker could normally sit.
I mean, if he does any damage, that's basically Tinker dying. Tinker does not have an Eggs. He can't do like any kind of AoE blind, so pretty much everything auto-attacking should get a kill.
Is that why when you should look at something like a Yule Scepter? Like he's actually going to go for a Scythe, which would have achieved the same type of thing, but I was...
Who's going for the Tinkers?
Yeah, he's got Scythe and a level 5 Dagon queued up.
And so is that why Tinker goes for a Scythe? Is that what you're asking?
No, I was thinking like, well, yeah, Tinker going for the Scythe just in case something does jump on top of him as well as having that aggression. But I thought Moon may go for some level of defensive item just to ensure there is no way he can get caught out.
Yeah, Hex is definitely the easiest one. Having something like a Ghost Scepter hypothetically can also work because then you just don't take damage from it, but that's not going to work against Necro 3 Lycan and other nuke sources. So yeah, Hex is probably the safest way. With that said, CC and CC can still kill him because he's just going to Orchid the Tinker. The Tinker can try to Hex, and CC would just pop BKB in that moment. So
man, this money from Necro units must be looking really good for Mineski. The Lycan's been just sending him down the lanes, trying to push the lane out.
And the Necro Summon as well. I've seen a couple that have died already going towards Mineski. So just generating them the wealth, but also been just running at them and accomplishing good Dota things too.
They get smoke time. 3-man, well, 4 really. Infested man inside.
And Tinker's
their
ready
own sentry.
too.
PPD's coming in close. Remember, he's the man that must die. Reveals himself to the lane. They know they're all coming up towards the northern.
I mean, this is even better now. He just has to cast Tomb and then die to get a second Tomb out. Mission accomplished.
Well, hookshot, found the target. PPD, what do you get? Nothing. Absolutely. Well, he just his death tomb. That's what you get.
And another 200 gold.
But PPD dies, breaks the smoke, puts Infest on cooldown. The rest of his team stay alive. There you go. 450 gold from 3 tombstones. We just start adding up. So you got the cost of tombstones. You got the cost of Necro units and Dominated Creeps.
Yeah, I'm sure the Dominated Creeps.
600 from the 3 Necro minions have been killed by... So we just watched 2 getting killed up on the top, so okay, maybe it's not as many as I thought.
Must have been just now.
Yeah.
He's just been very careful. I think his summons, I've seen at least like 2 or 3 die. But all that stuff adds up, you know? It's a couple kills essentially, gold-wise.
Fresh item now for Mineski. You have Radiance onto the Omni Knight to go along with the Crimson Guard.
That's great. They're lacking carry potential. They're lacking reliable carry potential in like chaotic fights. Radiance is just going to deal a lot of damage constantly, give miss chance against all these summons. It's a great pickup here. The only thing that Omni's kind of missing here is like overwhelming physical survivability. Obviously, Crimson Guard does a lot to help that out, but doesn't do everything. So he's going to get a BKB next, and then for this like long period, he's going to be a little bit vulnerable to heroes like Lycan and even Gyro directly attacking him.
OpTic are all grouped up around the mid lane. I think they're hoping for a smoke. They've still got 2 smoke of Deceits on Undying, and they're able to do it. They didn't get Lycan, which I think wasn't the intention. He was just a little bit too far out of range of it, but then the pickup down towards mid to Jabuki being isolated, but they want the Omni Knight. He's almost the primary target, but how do you kill him? He repels up, and then Jabs gets the hook shot in. The Tombstone is down 33, goes for a run a little bit further north. Ice, giving the life towards Jabs, and here comes CNC. The Sonic Wave will fly out. The GA will not protect you from this, not to mention the double damage rune as GA will wear off. Mushi can't survive. OpTic will claim 3. In fact, they got 4. The buyback came from Jabs. And the rocket followed him all the way back up again, so they get the information with the rocket, but they can do little to nothing about it. Maybe, unless Moon's going to start spamming in rockets with the clockwork vision, but that's it.
And Undyne is making such a big impact this game. Like, with Tombstone down, Mineski just doesn't have the time to kill it. They have this super limited melee carry in terms of how much time he has. He presses Rage and he has 6 precious seconds and he needs to get a kill. He does not have the time to hit a tomb.
Yep.
Even still, Peter's sitting back waiting to heal the thing for 8 Tombstone heal whenever he gets the opportunity. So they just can't deal with it. And eventually all these zombies build up, and then Lifestealer's just a super kited melee hero.
And they've got no one else that can do it. Like, Tinker's not going to sit there and attack it. The Omni Knight can't do that. Omni Knight's trying hard enough to keep everyone else alive.
Yeah, or be busy right-clicking himself. Everyone is busy on the side of Mineski. Not that that fight started in a great way. It was
They found a target.
Bane across the river.
CCNC, jump in. They're just going to control him up a little bit longer. Zai, oh no, the hook shot from Jabs off target. CCNC can play from the trees. The Blade Mail, they don't want to hit too heavy into Jabs. Okay, maybe they do. His TP out will be successful. The Tinker Rocket, Zai needs a blink, doesn't have it on cooldown for 1 second. He wanted to try and disjoint it, but did not have the time.
Yeah, switches is no-field trying to tank the damage, but it was not enough. But they also killed the Bane at the start of the previous fight, which also gave them the enemy gems. So it was like,
Moon, he's got a friend.
oh, is this the protection? Just keep a Lifestealer in you? That way if you do find somebody, it's
like 33. Please blink on me and have a crack at this. Whoops, I blinked away from 33
Yeah.
and the gank doesn't work anymore.
I mean, it's, you know, he's a little bit worried there could be more heroes still there. But with the Hex and the Dagon 3 picked up, there's definitely, I mean, he's going to eat some Necros right now, that's for sure. There's one.
Money, 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 money.
Share. Gotta share.
Yeah, Ninja Boogie took the other one, I think.
I don't know why you're giving him money. That's just going to be spent on buybacks and feeding later. Like a good 5 should.
Well, the bottom tier 2 tower is what Ice wants to claim. It's very low on life, in denial range for OpTic. But it's Mineski that wants the money for it, and that's why Pycat moving very quickly down. Tinker starts his TP in. The creep dies very quickly, and they do not have, well, maybe they do. With the Tombstone down, they have the opportunity to kill off the Omni Knight. No other friends nearby. Moon ended up heading towards the middle lane after the creep dive, and they can deny that bottom tier 2. Unless they want to continue to use it as bait for fights.
That hero really just didn't look very tanky there, didn't he? Like, it just seemed, it didn't even seem like it was a tanky Omni Knight sort of hero. Like, the Crimson Guard pickup has been useful for his team fight, but not for his personal survivability. Buying the Radiance is another big gold sink that helps him be a decent carry, but he can't be this, like, ultra invulnerable hero this game.
I swear I'm looking at like feels like 33 was just turning into a full Beastmaster. He's now changed his item build up and he's going in for the Scythe Device.
Yeah.
But
there's one problem in this game. It's killing Tinker. If they kill Tinker, the fight's over.
Yeah.
Like, Lifestealer has felt inadequate all game, ever since like the 20-minute mark at least. So if they just kill Tinker, it's over.
And Mushi's not even going for more maneuverability. He's going for a Basher. So looking for lockdown on that way, on that
Exactly.
front.
It's like the anti-mobility item that he needs.
And speaking of Mushi, the gank is on. 33 jumps in. They just keep him perched up in the Sonic Wave. They did not want to let him infest into that neutral. And then looking for more. 33 running, but nothing to find.
He tanked a lot of damage, but that's about it. Didn't get killed, but at the end, Sonic Wave secures it, and Orchid's going to always counter this hero anyways. And a lot of times, it's a really bad position to be in as a Lifestealer. If they happen to have an Orchid, you're going to need a BKB or something crappy like a Manta. It's not a good time to have, but just everything looking OpTic Gaming right now.
Yeah, and there's no way your support's going to help out. Like, you're dreaming of a Lotus, you're dreaming of something along those lines, but yeah, it is a long way away from the rest of Mineski because they're just starting to run low on money. Everything has been pretty close for a lot of the games we've watched already from these two teams, but now the goal is up to 12K. The experience is almost 20,000 in favor of OpTic. In fact, even my graph is telling me that we're bouncing a bit above 12K for gold.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's bouncing up.
Oh, I know this isn't going to surprise you, but 3-3 changed his item builder once again.
Oh yeah, he bought the Shadow Blade as he queued up the Scythe.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm like, it's full Beastmaster.
I see.
Well, it's a beast build, right? Like, the only thing which is different is the Scythe.
Yeah, actually, and lately people aren't buying Helm of the Dominator on Beastmaster because he already gets a summon from himself. So, but yeah, you're actually very, very, very true. This is pretty much the same thing. All disable, all chase, all gap close, get to the back line, mess with the supports, and just he can't be killed easily himself. Just works out.
Well, the Aegis Seymour doesn't have that much longer left on it. In fact, I think it's only 28 seconds before the Aegis will be reclaimed. So OpTic Make it just backing up. They have claimed all outer towers 37 minutes into the game.
I mean, Moon's doing his best job that he can. Push in the other lanes. Mid lane is pushed in. Bot lane is pushed in. So the towers are being pressured at least. CC's going to have to come back here.
I think Moon wants to BT out there as quickly as he possibly can.
He's also looking at CC because hypothetically he can kill this guy, but with the Lincolns on Queen of Pain, it's really hard. And a cheese.
Oh,
and
the Observer and Sentry. Here comes 33. They're looking towards Mushi once more. Rubik's nearby, and he just uses Infest to farm. Rage TP out. Anyone got a stun? No? Okay. That's an escape.
Yeah, no way they're going to catch him there. Once he rages. Let's say still like Fiend's Grip or something.
Oh, they can catch out Ice instead.
They would love to. I don't know if it's going to work.
They have,
I guess he doesn't have any Orchid Breakers.
They have no vision on that hill as well. That's the other downside. OpTic have committed most of their vision towards the northern side, and now they drop one in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's a good strat. The rest of the map isn't super safe to farm. Lifestealer can do it just fine, though.
They got so many sentries down looking for these wards of OpTic, and they just don't find them. They're very, very flexible with their warding OpTic. Always something slightly unusual, but still in the right area.
Except for that cliff ward. That one's super obvious.
Yeah.
But it's also not obvious, because what kind of a dumb pro player would put one on the most obvious spot, right?
Yeah, that's why they put 2 sentry wards inside their base looking for the internal wards.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe. They've got a bit. They have wards somewhere. They realize this. They can't really afford a gem right now. They already bought a gem, in fact. This is Ninja Boogies. All the lanes pushed in, and they just got to keep their core safe and not ganked.
And Tinker's got so much money though. Like for all the shutdown which is happening from OpTic, Tinker is still #1 net worth on the field. They have not controlled him at all. And understandable when the Lycan is fully building to gank the Tinker. Like just the lockdown on him.
As long as he blinks into the right trees, it's going to be okay. Just got to make sure that you ward the typical cliff ward spots, that he's a little bit careful where he shows up on the map. But once this Hex comes out, everything gets scarier. Any Hex on Tinker is usually just a sign for your team to say, kill this guy now, because you know that you can throw spells and it's going to secure him. But they're also mobile as well on OpTic. Like Queen of Pain, Pycat went for an SNY this game. I think it was a great option over Ags, because he can now get away from Lifestealer, get away from Omni Knight, stuff like that. So they're all super fast at following up on any catches they get on somebody like Tinker. So he still has to play super careful.
He's got crap tons of money for buyback. We can survive. Mineski were looking for a pick-off. They had Mushi infested for a while inside the inside the Clockwork. I can say for a while, it was almost the full duration of his infestation.
And that was the biggest thing that hurts them, really. Like, that definitely looked great in the draft stage, but it does require Lifestealer to always be there. And if you can't mix this into a regular game where everything feels normal, then you're just going to spend... Everything's reliant on your carry, who should also be farming, is the issue. So maybe if he does, I don't know, maybe if you like get a Radiance and you fit him into a neutral creep and he runs around farming safely, essentially, and then once in a while you walk him into the right place and go for a kill, then everything's fine.
Rage TP's out, Moon's in the tree lines, Shiva's, actually CCNC BKBs.
I don't blame him in the slightest. Why is a Lifestealer next to his base? Like, of course you pop your BK. Like,
it's a good question.
There's definitely going to be a Fiend's Grip if he doesn't get out of there. Like, that was a safe play. Oh, he catches him finally.
Oh, that's the opening they needed. So Moon, yep, Hex, Laser, starts the TP out with the channeling, and successful. Tinker is away, and the hook shot. Oh, Jabs wants to come in again after Tinker regenerates, and the Lifestealer in the neighborhood. Can they reach with Ninja Boogie looking for the Fiend Script? Doesn't have it. Pycat now turns on the butterfly. Reese reduces the distance. Blade Mail from Jabs will protect him for a little bit longer, but they orc it over on Mushi. He can't attack, he can't survive. They have to keep him alive. Ice, dropping everything he's got. Mushi, he now has to armlet toggle back to base. Ice tanked through so much. Maybe they have it with the wave of the March Machines and the Dagon's OpTic. Have you come in too deep? You've taken 2 huge kills, but how the exit frag stolen GA? Protect them as much as they can. Zaya's low, there's no vision on him, so that rocket will not connect.
Surprisingly even fight, actually.
Yeah?
Gyro was just in there really hard. He fights through the Satanic. He still goes down, though. A little bit too much damage coming out of Mineski. I mean, I'm sure it really helped they're in the close to the enemy base. Basically gives Tinker the ability to do whatever he wants. And 3-3 on the Lycan had already used the brunt of his spells and abilities, so he wasn't able to just hit the backline as easily.
Yeah. But I was expecting a little bit more pop damage, so I actually had the Lifestealer inside of Jabs at the beginning of that fight to get the initial kill, but that may have changed that dynamic a little bit faster. Because they just don't have that instant kill. But now they have the level 5 Dagon done, the Shiva's guards over on Moon, a little bit of extra life.
I like CC's perk pickup as well. I know a lot of players think the Scream of Pain Fear is like the thing to get, but by grabbing a second Lincoln's, this 20-second spell block, it's so hard for Bane to catch him now. He has to cast 2 spells before he can grip the guy. It makes Bane's life virtually impossible. It's got to be like, hey, can somebody break both of his Lincolns so I can use Fiend's Grip?
Yeah, I need to buy a 4-staff. I need to buy a Yields. He's got Tranquil Boots and Wand is the only thing which isn't a consumable for him.
And Feeble is his Lincoln's Breaker, and Brain Sap, I guess. But
1,800, 1,900 net worth for the Bay. Yeah, here's the goal breakdown for him. The 2 runts of the team.
I mean, I think this is just a really safe thing for CC to do. I mean, he's not that into defensive items. It's a Lincoln's, it's a perk, and it's a BKB. Totally normal to have Lincolns and a BKB in a lot of circumstances. The biggest benefit is probably just that his Orchid has been so useful all game with just it being an Orchid. Like, it just, against a Lifestealer, he's never had any survivability things. Against a Tinker, it's perfect.
PPD's giving the sacrifice again. He gets
Double
the
tomb,
tombstone down, and he gets his ultimate off, so they can actually force Taps away. Ninja Boogie, so much damage. He'll be protected for only half a second thanks to Nightmare. Jabs as well with a flat cannon. Does not matter when Pycat's got all the regeneration in the world as he lets the damage go. Jabs will finally fall. Moon, he's being hunted. They're trying to catch up to him, and Mushi, he just can't run. He rage TP's out as Moon underneath the wave. Yep, he will go down. Mineski, 1 player left alive, and it was Mushi, who was kind of the absent one, not by choice in the fight. I say absent when he's in the middle of it, but he had no influence whatsoever.
Peter doing his best to not die. He was a coward in that fight, but he still did die in the end, luckily. But his tombs take 14 hits to destroy. And if you cast Soul Rip, it heals it for 8.
Yep.
You actually can't kill the tombs anymore with all these melee cores. And after like 5 seconds, the fight's over.
And the crazy thing is too, like when Mineski fought, they fought almost next to the shrine. So he just TP'd back out again. It was
he knows what to do, man.
Yep.
Instant buyback, get back in the fight, support his team. Now there's so many hexes. Almost one on CC if he's willing to waste buyback money. 3-3's got his. There's a refresher. That's triple tomb, baby. Here we go.
And jumping towards the mid. Mushi orchid it up. He's having to be Nightmare to protect this Lifestealer. That's not the way this is meant to work. Zai, Rage jumps forward, and the infestation of the melee creep, they pick it up and try and pull him back close enough. But Lifestealer will be into relative safety, but now no infest for 40 seconds. Fortification will buy time. Tinker buys back. They need his range spam. They need the Martial Machines to stop OpTic from diving in too deep. They need to have some level of cover fire, but when that flat cannon reaches so deep to almost the tier 4 towers, how do you even fight this? Moon's just rocket spamming, but the jump forward, Zai grabs him, and that's the big one. Nightmare for protection, but it will not last. Tinker's down, no buyback available. Ice will follow, and this should almost be the game right now. They've got no tier 2 towers to stop OpTic from claiming all 3 lanes of racks. And I don't think they got enough strength in their lineup anyway. Their only form of damage is Lifestealer, so GG.
Not quite yet. 2 racks down.
Hook shot, now they jump. Lifestealer got delivery. 4-star, 33 gets a little bit of extra space. CCNC through the backlines. Orchid over on Ninja Boogie, so there's no Fiend's Grip, there's no control. And once again, Pycat just has the perfect position. Jabs, he's protected by Ice's GA, but this now wears off. Ninja Boogie on the run. Lifestealer spends all of his time chasing the tail of Pycat, but he ain't getting this. He is not getting anything. The buyback is there from the Bane. 2 lanes of racks down, but OpTic aren't done yet.
Well, they're doing everything they can to hold on here, but they just can't deal any damage anymore. The right click of Lifestealer is just kind of falling off, especially against like a butterfly gyrocopter that's got Aegis and everything.
Hey, at least they got rid of the Orchid thanks to the repel of Ice, but 33 jumps in right into the back lines. Ninja Boogie, target number 1 for him. He wants that dieback on the Bane. They break him free with his minion unit. Meanwhile, Lifestealer running inside of a wolf, no life on Mushi at all. He can buy back, that'll give him another 100%, but how long does this last before Mineski admit the inevitable? Mushi runs forward, you can at least break the Lincolns on Pycat.
I mean, this is their last stand here. They've got Fiend's Grip. They could grab Zai at least,
14 seconds till Tinker. There is the grab. Zai will fall. No buyback available for him. 8 seconds until Tinker. The tier 4 towers are under attack. No, well, actually, there is a BKB for Pycat, but he's also got the Aegis Immortal. Are OpTic being safe about this? It looks like it. They are all retreating.
It's time to play safe. That's a dead Rubik for 90 seconds. They've got buybacks on their other heroes, but I mean, if you have 1 dead like this, you're 3 racks up, you're about to close out the series, you do not want to mess around. They're super safe right now. They just drop tombs. They're not going to have a bad case, but they're on cooldown for so many of their core abilities. Just play it safe, wait 45 seconds, or ideally for Rubik, and then go back in and end the game.
It's close out the series. It's get into the first place decider, avoid elimination on day 2, which is what a lot of teams are facing tomorrow, and be very happy you survived elimination on day 1, because not all teams did. This is...
So what does Mineski do? They group, they look for some disables, and they kill somebody that's by themselves. On
That's
the bright
the only
side,
thing they can do, right?
they've got great map control in their base. I wish my Poke games looked like this when I got Mega Creeped. And they've also got the gem that they stole from their opponents, I think.
Observer, and Sentry.
All right, there is a gem actually on Undying. They did retrieve their own gem, but they lost.
So gem on Dying, gem on Clockwork.
So both teams have equal vision. They're going to put a scan down. They're looking for these solo kills. The best thing they can do right now, they need to get a kill. And on OpTic side, they say, hey guys, the only way we can lose is if we get picked off 1 by 1 and are forced to buy back and then mess up after that.
Let's stay together as 5.
Exactly. Stick together, kill the shrine, close the map out, deward, and then end the game. If they really are scared and want to play safe, they already have Aegis. It's literally, all right, they're about to go high ground.
They do flank their position by killing off that shrine, which is why Mineski just like, okay, well, screw that. Originally, they started making a beeline for the northern side, but they realized the smoke wouldn't give them enough cover.
Just safer this way. Limit all their TP options. That way, if Mineski does want to leave the map, or leave their base, that is, and go look for a kill, takes them a really long time to cross the map.
Mineski are all at home at the moment. Buybacks, none are available. Everyone's on cooldown. The Clockwork will have his coming off cooldown in 10 seconds time, but he's still short of the cash. So 33 runs in. That's under the cover of Shadow Blades. They see him. The Sentry Wars and Observers give all the information to Mineski, and Mushi just rages, fearing for his life that he'll probably get blink hexed by Queen of Pain.
Or Bloodthorned even.
Or Bloodthorned, or both.
Or any, literally just a giant, invisible, extremely fast wolf. Teleporting a short distance on top of you, screaming, and summoning his pets.
Illusion's pushing bottom, as well as the March of the Machines, the Ice Illusion. I don't think OpTic will really care though. Like, they know they can just end this game. Losing bottom ranks is not the end of the world when you already have Megas.
I mean, this is the best they can do though. Just that was actually a really nice thing for Mineski that they found this Illusion Rune. Pushes the lanes out, delay things a little bit. OpTic is going to sit on the high ground, play this very safe.
I like how Mushi is now going to deal with everything that's been thrown at him. He's buying a BKB onto the Live Stealer. But I don't see where he's going to item slot this up. He's using Maelstrom to counter push out the lane.
I mean, that's what he has to do, right?
Yeah.
Like that or Battle Fury. Maelstrom is probably a little simpler.
Just means he has to keep switching.
Yeah.
But OpTic are being very, very cautious about this. They can just wait for the third Roshan. He may spawn up in 2 minutes' time.
Curious what Ninja Boogie's planning to do.
Like it.
Oh,
Jump forward.
hundreds.
Found his target. Gets the Hex off. Damn, that damage is high. Moon, GA, and Repel both have to be used. PPD jumped along with him with a 4-staff. Moon has the distance. The Undying Zombies are chasing him as far in as they possibly can go. More hexes. This one's on to Mushi as they control up jabs. The pick up from Zai, CCNC, looking for the perfect Sonic Wave, and they're pretty well lined up for it. Hitting on 3, jabs will fall, and they cannot get away. Not from Pycat, not from the call down. They are in their found, so regeneration's fast, and they still have the Tinker alive, so spam is possible. Keep the rockets coming, but the Ancient is under attack. Creep Wave, Necro units, Pycat's radio attack, the Fiend's Grip is out. They find the kill. 2 players down there, both the supports. Can they deal with the cause as well? No. The damage is way too much. The throne will explode. And OpTic Gaming take the series 2-1 and secure the final place in the first place decider match.
That's a Dota 2 pop-off right there. We don't see those very often, but PPD is feeling good, man. It wins this series, plays extremely well for the entire series, drafted extremely well. Like, that game looked so easy by mid-game when there was just tombstones on the ground.
Yeah, it really did. Fantastic performance from OpTic. They get to keep the US torch alight for now and play in that first place deciding tiebreaker tomorrow. Cannot wait for it because the guys know all about it. Red, hi.
Hello. Thank you very much, Toby and Purge, with our final commentary of the final series of day number 1 here at ESL One Birmingham. OpTic Gaming will celebrate themselves a victory and put themselves in contention for a guaranteed top 4 finish by playing in the round robin for first place tomorrow alongside Virtus Pro and OG. 3 teams that perhaps we didn't all have in the same collective for first place. But nevertheless, we're going to break down that final game and look forward to tomorrow, as well as catch up with the Vodafone Play Faster moment of the day as well. Before we get there, though, let's talk about that last game, because actually, gents, when we look back on this as a series of 3, you'd have to say OpTic could have won this 3-0.
Oh, easily. And I think when you look at this, obviously a huge result for OpTic, but just not just the result, but the way that they did it. When you talk about, we spent so much time talking about 33 as the secret weapon for this team, and it was the other 2 cores of OpTic that deliver in this series. Pycat, who's already won the first LAN of his story, the first big LAN of his story's career with this OpTic team, and CCNC, who has gone through so much criticism, played such a great co-op game in Game 3. And how about in true NA fashion, you give the team, you take the same 3-core combo that the team that you just beat in Game 2, and you run it to perfection in Game 3.
Yeah, and that's kind of adding a little bit of insult to the injury and rubbing a bit of salt in there as well, isn't it, Cap?
But yeah, and Mineski had, I would say, an even worse draft to be able to deal with this 3-core combo. They have this Lifestealer that is just, he doesn't have a place in the game. He's facing up against a Gyrocopter who's naturally going to be ahead, a Lycan who's just very good versus, and then this core co-op. This core co-op owned. This Orchid was mega value. He just destroyed the Lifestealer non-stopping. You don't really have a good toolkit to be able to build into. It's like Manta or something. Yeah. It just feels awful.
I mean, that was one of the best co-op games we've seen so far.
Well, it was a mid co-op in a decent lane, right? Yeah. That was the big thing. I think that the rationale that we were looking for with that co-op pick is you saw the Tinker and you ask your mid player, all right, what hero do you want to play to dumpster this Tinker mid? And Quinn was able to deliver. You talk about the Lifestealer not having a place in the game. There was a time in that game where it looked like Mushi might have Armlet Deso by 16, 17 minutes, and that would have been Lifestealer's place in this game. OpTic were able to win one big fight, and that set Mushi back just enough that he never really was able to have that big impact.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be hard for him. I don't know. It was also the fact that they don't really feel like they have a place for this Omni Knight in like
the
who he
Omni
protects.
For me.
You can't really do a whole lot for your Lifestealer that isn't already inherently there in his toolkit. You don't protect a Tinker. That's not where a Tinker wants to be in a team fight anyway. So I think both those cores were just going to have a hard game, and it was just entirely reliant on Tinker being able to carry through. But Tinker has a bad laning phase start because he's facing up against a Quap with the help of the Undying coming through as well. So rough times.
We're going to get some more from you both in just a moment, but let's catch up with Sir Action Slacks, who's with PPD, the winning captain for OpTic Gaming.
Thank you so much, Red Eye. A pleasure. And here he is, the man himself, PPD, PP Dizzle, as they call you online. Great game, great series. How you feeling?
Feeling good until I got a new nickname all of a sudden. I've never heard that before. They usually just go with PJ Salt, right?
PJ Salt? No, man. I've been seeing it all over the place. PP Dizzle is what they're calling you in the streets. Good stuff?
The new nickname?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's good. It's good. Anything's better than Salt, guys. So you stop calling me that. I don't appreciate it.
Okay, see, this is a real interview right now. Let's talk about that series there. Incredible plays. It was a long one. I did want to talk to you about the Bane performance. You died a lot, Peter, but you made things happen. You had essential grabs, very good plays. Does dying matter in the current meta, or is it all about making sure that you get what you need to get done?
Definitely, you got to get done what you need to get done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sure, but as like a position 5, especially with low net worth, your deaths don't necessarily mean a ton of golden experience. However, when you're off the map, during your death timer, you're kind of your team kind of has to play it a different way, so it's not always the best. That game, I was just kind of being the manly man, right? Somebody's got to walk up the hill into the fog, and somebody's got to tank the gank, and we decided to adapt our strategy in Game 3, so I played Undying, and I get I was hoping for the reincarnation at 25, but I got the tombstone on death, so my team was just like, okay, I think they're smoked. And I was like, all right, I'm going in. So I would just walk in, and my goal every fight was just to I would just stare at my mini map and just wait for any blips on the map, and then I would just R for ult, and then just try to get my first tomb off, and then I just run in, and then I would die, and then the second tomb would go, and then there's zombies everywhere, and I was just sitting there in the well dead, just watching my zombies do work.
Indeed. You were a true hero, man. A real martyr. Putting yourself out there, dying for the cause.
Yeah, are they giving Mercedes away for MVP this tournament?
you know, if you keep making plays like that, maybe we could convince him, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, is it a thing or not?
Thanks a lot, Peter. It's always a pleasure to interview you. We'll throw it on back to Red Eye. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. PPD still actually no wiser, but I can confirm there is a Mercedes-Benz MVP for this particular event. Don't start yet. It hasn't opened yet. It starts at midnight tonight. You can vote from then on. I don't even know if we can start talking about MVP.
Paul,
It's a little bit early right now.
I told you, Slash just makes shit up in his interviews. That's what he does. He makes up a new nickname for Peter.
PP
has no idea if there's an MVP
He's
reward
throwing down
or
with the
not.
kids. He's throwing down with the kids. That's what's happening.
I just love the expression from Peter at the end of the interview is all like, y'all gave Solo a Benz. What about me?
Yeah. I mean, like, I just played some zombie stuff. Like, come on, give me a Mercedes-Benz. If he's your MVP, you can, of course, as I said, vote for him this evening. When it comes up, it will be open from midnight tonight UK time, so you can vote from then on. You might want to see a bit more of the tournament. Maybe PPD comes up with some magical plays over the next 4 days, which he's going to get the opportunity to do. Talking of awards, we've got the Vodafone Play Faster moment for you next up. Which could it be? There's been a few fast plays today, but the one I like most goes all the way back to the very beginning of the day. It was a base race between two teams that started our day off. EG and Fnatic gave us a fabulous first game of the day to open up the first ever UK Major, and it ended how else? Where it had rapiers, it had mega creeps, it had everything back and forth, and it also ended with a very, very quick base race at the end as well. So what better to finish off our day than award it the Vodafone Play Faster moment? That was a fun game,
well.
Yeah, I was all
I've never seen a thrown die through backdoor protection.
Yeah?
Actually.
Yeah.
Especially in combination with Tier Force. Wow. Double damage is insane on Morphling.
Yeah,
That's the lesson you learn from that.
Yeah. That was good play faster moment. I like that one. We're going to recap the results as well, gents, throughout the day, because we've had quite a lot of results through, so we'll take them one by one and go through all the groups. In Group A, we have Fnatic and Virtus Pro winning their opening matches, which led to VP winning 2-0 against Fnatic. No big surprise, really, to see Virtus Pro win that group. I guess the surprise, if any, was that EG went out of that group.
The stunning result of the day is, to me, the 3 teams that went home.
Yeah, EG out of Group A. In Group B, it was Vici Gaming that went out. They went out of Group B, and Liquid nearly went out. They had to win their match against Vici to stay in, so they're going to play Pain tomorrow in that playoff game. And the winner in that group, extraordinary in some ways, is OG, who've been the masters of inconsistency all season long. And then in Group C, obviously, we've just seen OpTic going through, which means our top ones playing in the first place deciders tomorrow, which we won't see here. We'll see that on the B stream. Virtus Pro, OG, and OpTic. Those 3 are guaranteed top 6 already at a major. Wow. And if they win at least one best of 1 tomorrow, they're guaranteed top 4. So massive incentive for those 3 to push on through. The 3 teams that are out, I can barely believe my own voice when I say this. Newbie, Vici Gaming, and Evil Geniuses. That's extraordinary. I don't understand what's going on.
It's stunning. It's honestly the idea that those 3 teams would be out on the first day of a major, and all of a sudden OpTic with 450 DPC points, the longest of long shots, are looking at the teams ahead of them and going, wait a minute, guys.
It's insane, isn't it?
We got a chance to make up some ground here,
I
boys.
mean, it's absolutely crazy. What it does mean, of course, is we've got 3 matches for you tomorrow here on the main stream. Those 3 matches will start off where we've got Fnatic Spirit, we've got Liquid versus Pain, and of course Mineski dropping down to face LFY in the other best of 3. LFY's still alive. I mean, that's another surprise maybe from that group.
That 3rd series, LFY, one of the disappointments of the season against a Mineski team that has just looked completely flat since winning a major.
Yeah, I think people should know, since it was on the second stream, the second game of that series, that elimination series, they fought back with a Dusa Divine Rapier against Megas and managed to win that game 2, go on to eliminate Newbie in game 3. Incredible that LFI is still in this tournament.
Yeah.
Can we give Gareth and Lacoste a little love
for
the
can
12-hour casting shift?
Yeah, 12 and a half hours over on the B stream as well. They'll be back tomorrow. So yes, a thank you to them as well as a thank you to you.
You're welcome, Paul.
You're very welcome.
And I thank you all round. Let's just thank everyone. all of you for tuning in and being with us over a very long first day, but has been a fantastic first day here at ESL One. We've had a bit of everything, haven't we? We've had rapiers all over the place, we've had mega creeps, we've had comebacks, we've had base races, and we've seen some extraordinary surprises on day one. 3 teams have already departed, and they're not the 3 that we would have expected. Commiserations to Evil Geniuses, to Vici Gaming, and incredibly Newbie as well. No DPC points for any of those 3 teams who are in or around that top 8, but there are 3 teams looking very good so far. OG, congratulations to them, OpTic Gaming, and Virtus Pro. Still 9 teams left in here as we head into day number 2 tomorrow. We'll see you then.
So, well, these guys have won the game. Now mid lane, in they go, onto the gyro. Where are we going to see them relocate? DJ, where's he coming? He's coming into the fight. Oh, run away, EG. These 2 are scary. Samel, got to run on himself out. Look at the damage.
Let's see.
Oh,
The back door.
oh, look at it go! Backdoor protection needs a buff apparently.
EG's got to go for base 2.
Oh no,
They're going
I
to
mean,
force.
surely they can't outdo what Fnatic's doing. Look at this speed. Oh my god.
And Envy alone. Envy's alone in there.
I mean, he's just finishing it. He's absolutely just, Misery's coming in, he's just died. He lays the tombstone for himself and a tombstone for EG.
Envy's killing it right through the back door.
They've done it, Fnatic.
Oh, 200 HP. The blade came back up. They're healing it.
That's another tombstone.
And, okay, yeah, he's gonna get it.
There we
And he
go.
does get it. Oh my god.
My goodness.
What a
Fnatic-
game.
An epicenter, they kill him.
Oh, yeah,
so they
he's
can
gonna
glimpse
die.
Eternal Envy back into this, which is what they do. Roger will have the Burrow Strike, they're holding the Storm, they're just going to burn the epicenter. This is ability efficiency from Virtus Pro, and Ramses for the poor swipe to kill secure. Now for 70 seconds, no buyback of Malville, the stun onto Arved will now break free. They've got the Golem to go with it, not to mention the Tuskar Sigil is slowing everything down. Support has arrived. Universe, axe climb the trees, they snowball forward, down towards no one. The Nightmare doesn't keep them away, it actually helps them because the shards, it blocks solo as well. Virtus Pro, they own this, they own you, they own Fnatic.
I mean, this is definitely. Oh, look at no one.
He's just going in. It's over, it's over. Put the white flag upon the door.
OG looking to start it off. And by the looks of it, are they going to get away with it? I mean, OG's heading over. Can they get in? The song is going to be used, and there we have it. King RD makes sure that the 2 of them from the side, make sure that Jarrett's can't get in with a hook shot. So they get the Aegis onto Weehar, and now they're ready to fight. Weehar heads forward, quick run to the side, but Jarrett's will be able to cut across the Roshan pit, so they will have a good chance of trying to burn this Aegis, and they do. They'll take the Aegis out of the hands of Weehar, and they'll also pick up Duster. The question is if they can kill Weehar a second
Nice
time.
time.
Perfect timing from S4, and they will.
Oh. Vote in 20.
See what they can do. There's the song. See what they can set up here.
They got to know the BKB's there for the gyro.
Here we go. They're going to try and go in silence at the moment, catch them out. They'll jump in Tarbo with the Rolling Thunder onto the Gyrocopter, but now Seb pods the BKB and he's ready to turn. Starts to right clicking towards Weehar. Weehar uses himself up. HFN taking a lot of damage here from the splitter.
My
He's still alive. He's
God.
trying to get himself away, but there's the team fight that we were waiting to see from.
Yeah, the Brewmaster split's going to wear off. CCNC looking for the torrent to connect. It will not do so, but Mushi so low on life. CCNC's hit him once. Doesn't happen. They get it instead from the rest of OpTic. Aegis cracks, Moonbolt back, so does Nyx Assassin. The numbers now in favor of Mineski. They have to get this Divine Rapier out. Let's see CNC. He doesn't really hit the mark. In fact, he got hexed up. He hasn't been able to swing. They're pulling back down again. The dust comes out. CNC, this Rapier will be lost. He's got no mana. He's got nothing. Moon's just rocket spamming, but the jump forward. Zai grabs him, and that's the big one. Nightmare for protection, but it will not last. Tinker's down. No buyback available. Ice will follow.